Hi, baby. Good to see you. That's a great introduction. Good evening, everybody. I'm so excited to be here and have a night off from work, most importantly, but it's for a very good cause. It is truly a tremendous honor to introduce the Regional Vice President in charge of the Northeast Region for Government Affairs for Charter Communications, Camille Joseph. I have personally seen how she works tirelessly for LGBT causes, both inside and outside of Charter Communications. She joined the company in 2016, and she's been a driving force for inclusivity, which is very important to her, and I can tell you she is most deserving of this wonderful award. Please welcome to the podium your friend of mine, Camille Joseph.
Good evening, everyone. First and foremost, before I even get to my speech, I just want to take a moment to recognize Cheryl. This evening, we had the pleasure of hearing remarks from the Reverend Al Sharpton. He said something that actually I carried in my career, is that you may not have known who I was or what I was able to do, but because of beautiful women like Cheryl Wills, who made it normative to see women of a certain color, of a certain type on television every single day. That's the reason why there's a place for me at Spectrum, and I want to thank you for your hard work and for being a trailblazer. That said, I do want to thank all my friends and family who came out tonight and my company. I'm actually joined by my fabulous uncle, Jack. Thank you so much for your love and support and encouragement. In addition to utilizing my job as an opportunity to kind of raise visibility and inclusivity, I want to thank Alan Roscoff for being a friend and a role model, for allowing me to know that it's not just what you do at work, it's what you do in your life to drive this message along. And as a first-generation American, I'm from the Bronx. I come from very humble beginnings. When I was younger, I actually recently went to a high school reunion, and folks around the table, and even in my kind of elementary school, were saying, oh, when we were growing up, there were, kind of gay individuals, but as long as there's been white males, black males, women and men, there have always been LGBTQ individuals, but they've not always had the opportunity to speak up. And I remember my first interaction in high school. I remember going to an all-girls high school in the Bronx, and someone said, there's the English teacher, watch her, she's gay. And so I did just that. Every day I would watch her. Weeks went by, I was watching her, and nothing happened. And what's so funny about that story is that once I stopped watching her and got to know her, she actually was the engineer behind me getting into I applied to 18 colleges, I was accepted to 17, and she wrote all of my letters of recommendation. And so I say this because, unless you are of open heart and open mind and open spirit, you will not know the blessings around you, no matter what shape they may take. That is an important message that I carry with me in my career and my life. So I want to thank all of you for giving me this award, for this recognition. But no one individual deserves it. It takes a community, it takes a group. Thank you so much to the Jim Owls Club. Thank you so much, Alan Roscoff. And to my husband and former boss, Scott Stringer, thank you all for everything. Have a great evening. Coming up for a picture?
Moving along, I want to thank everybody for being here and assure you that the money you donated tonight will go to many good causes. It will go to electing people, senators, senatorial candidates who are running against the IDC candidates. It will go toward candidate for governor and lieutenant governor and attorney general and state controller. It will go to candidates for assembly who are left-wing candidates who are going to fight for us. It will go toward our organization, which is involved in electing judges. In Brooklyn, we played a crucial role in several judges running countywide and in districts. And we do so in Manhattan. We're involved in the judicial system in Manhattan because there is a lot of injustice. Last year, a judge was elevated who abortion slammed a woman with 2 children. And another judge that we were against was elected and has gone on record to giving the biggest settlement to a landlord and caused the homelessness of a 72-year-old woman. So it's very important that you have our voice. Shh, Ronnie, you have our voice, because we're not involved in the judiciary for ego or for power or to make friends. We try to be involved because we like to think that we have the headset of people from the 60s who really believe in fighting for justice. We've also been very heavily involved in the issue of clemency, and we've made many visits to Bedford Correctional Facility, and we've actually been successful in securing clemency for several long-time prisoners. We believe that every prisoner over 55 years old who has served their time and have been rehabilitated needs not to die in prison. We've had 3 demonstrations at the governor's house over the past, and we've had some major reforms. And I believe soon, with the help of a new Attorney General, we will have the release of Judith Clark, our friend. Okay. Also with us tonight is Rod Townsend, president of Stonewall Democratic Club. Rod. And Rose Chris, the former president, an organization that we work very closely with, and former assembly member, a pioneer in our community, Jonathan Big. And now we're going to introduce our next presenter, a man who has been involved, who I met through the television. He started with Alan Cumming, as I said, in Reefer Madness, and I asked Alan about him, and Alan said, oh, he's super cool. He's great on every issue. So we invited him to City Hall to receive a Gay Pride Award in 2005. He's been very active in this organization, and we've been spending weekends with his wife, America Campbell. They're known as Christian America, and upstate, working for Brian Flynn, who's running for Congress in the 19th Congressional District. So now our friend, dynamic, wonderful Christian Campbell.
I'll keep it short so it shortens the torture that my sister is feeling about having to come up here and accept this, because she's not good with public speaking. She always gets so nervous about it. So therefore, but she's. Let me just put it this way: we are children of immigrants, and we are immigrants. My father was a union member of the Teachers Union in Canada for 35 years. My mother's a psychotherapist, a yoga teacher. You know our politics. That's all there is to it. But one thing, this says everything about my sister. When I told her that Jim Alves wanted to present this award to her, she was like, "Why me?" Right? That sums up my sister. There's a humility and a kindness to her that puts her far above so many people that work in Hollywood. There's an interesting line that happens in one of her movies, Scream, in which it says, there are many criminals working in Hollywood and their careers are flourishing. And my sister has she's never stooped to that. She's always been choosing characters, female characters that are strong, that set an example, that talk about justice and about kindness of people to one another as much as you can. And of course, she's also running away from people with masks and killing them, by the way. She always wins. But there's just been a way that she has carried herself in all these years that I think is going to afford her some pretty powerful years ahead of her. With this entire Me Too movement, I can promise you, you're going to be seeing a lot more of my sister. I promise you. So I'm going to introduce Nev Campbell, my sister, and a good friend.
He's right, I hate this. I was having a panic attack last night. I literally didn't sleep next to my 6-year-old son and thinking I have to become more confident about this kind of things. I have to teach him. And I guess that leads to me to wanting to create a better world for him. We were lucky to be raised by an incredible mother, a yoga teacher, a psychologist who was the head of AIDS awareness in Canada. And we have a younger brother who has Tourette syndrome, so someone who has come up against challenges. And I was lucky enough to be a spokesperson for Tourette syndrome as a child and in my adult life. And I was a dancer, so I was exposed to the gay community very early on. And to me, I never learned that there should be any difference. I learned respect, and I was always shocked when I realized what my friends were going through, and observing what my friends were dealing with dying of AIDS, and what my mom was dealing with being in Canada, a part of the buddy system, which was she sat with people on a daily basis and helped them pass. So, we had great guidance, and we were exposed to a very open world. And I want my son to experience that, and it is changing. A few weeks ago, I got an email. My son is in pre-K, and I got an email saying, "We're having drag queen story time." It's going, oh my God, really? Drag queen story time? And my son got sick, and he had the flu, and we could have pass. And one day I was standing in the room, and I thought, oh no, Caspian, did they have drag queen story time at school? He said, oh, Mom, it already happened. And I said, well, how was it? And he said, oh, it was great, it was cool. And that was it. It was no big deal at all to him. And to me, that was evidence to how things are shifting in a really beautiful way, and how things are very, very different from 20 years ago, at least in New York and in Brooklyn and in cities like California and more progressive cities. It needs to shift throughout the country. And I'm so humbled to be around you all. I played a politician on House of Cards, and I had the honor to kiss some really beautiful women on screen, and I think maybe that's why I'm here. But otherwise, I'm really grateful for people like you, who are, feet on the ground, getting in there, digging deep, and trying to make change. And we need you, we need you, we need you, and please keep going. And Alan, I feel like we should just honor Alan every year. Because that man just blows me away. Everything I hear about him, his energy is phenomenal and unforgettable, and it's people like him that make change, and all of you, and thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. You're wonderful. Thank you. Oh.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Very quickly, I forgot to mention a judge. And this is another reason why it's so important that we elect good judges. When Judith Clark's case came up, and we argued that the parole board reconvene because they did not use the appropriate criteria to judge whether or not she should be free after 37 years. And the case was handed to one judge, and there was turmoil in the justice system for those of us who are worried about mass incarceration. But for some reason, that judge did not stay with the case, and another judge got it. And you know, even on law, the case was rock solid for Judith. But if you get a bad judge, you're going to get a bad decision, even with the law on your side. And the judge who handled the case brilliantly, say the scholars who have reviewed the decision, is J.J. Kelly. Thank you, J.J. Kelly. Another introduction from a star in Congress, a woman who has led the women's movement, the peace movement, the criminal justice movement, and has served us all very well for many, many years. When she was a council member, she introduced the first domestic partnership bill in the city council, and the council speaker then, Thomas J. Cute, refused to have it printed, but Carolyn fought, and Carolyn's been a voice for all of us. Carolyn Maloney, Congress member. Thank you.